So
So,
you've mentioned the kind of elephant in the room of this division and their two free agency. The other team that could be in for Deshaun Watson is the Miami Dolphins.
yes.
So
And oddly, I don't have them with a ton of needs. I have them needing running back,
yeah, man.
offensive tackle, linebacker, and receiver. And again, I'm not worried about the running back because we'll figure that out, right? So if I can take care of one or two of these in free agency, I'm set as the Dolphins in the draft because again, I'm just drafting talent and depth.
Yeah, I think Deshaun Watson is the reason that it's going to be so hard to decide what these guys need to do with their offseason needs. So let's talk about Deshaun Watson first, and then we'll talk about their needs in the draft. Because if they get Deshaun Watson, they have no draft picks, so they can't pick anybody basically if they pick Deshaun Watson, not anybody of note. Anyway, I think they're the team where Deshaun Watson fits the best because it doesn't destroy their team. So if he goes to Chicago, he destroys their team. If he goes to the Jets don't have a team and they won't be able to build a team. So he kind of destroys their chances of winning as well. I'm not saying he's not talented enough to win without, like in Houston, he balled out with a terrible team. I just think you can't send him to a team like that. But Miami are on the verge of something. They've got something, and they're also in the lucky place to have got something and be rebuilding. So they've got the picks, they've got the cap room to say, Deshaun Watson, come play for us. Texans, here's the offer to finally prime away. I don't understand why the Texans are holding on for
Yeah.
so long. It's only giving them bad publicity.
And if you're Miami, I think you just sit there and go, I'll give you 3 first and 2, take it or leave it. And you just, if they leave it, you move on and you draft. And if they take it, then you upgraded your quarterback position at least right away and probably over the long run. I'm just saying that because we don't know what 2 is going to be. But
yeah, and if you're Houston, you take a 3rd pick, an 18th pick, and Tua.
Plus next year,
who's a 5th pick, isn't he? And next year's first, which won't be very high because we're predicting that Miami are gonna like do pretty well. So that's gonna be what, like 20th to 30th, maybe,
aren't
if they
we
do really well.
banking on wherever Deshaun Watson goes, you're picking in the teens or the 20s? Because even if he went to the Jets, don't they win 5 games and pick 12th?
Yeah, exactly.
You know
so
it's
a good situation for Houston to walk in. I think they should be the ones ringing up Miami and say, look, you've got the best situation for us. We'll take 3 first rounders, to a Tagovailoa, maybe something else on the side, something little insignificant kind of stuff. And then the Texans can kind of rebuild from there, and they have a bridge quarterback that they can use as well. I think if they get Watson, they immediately become a contender. The Dolphins.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah,
if they don't get
Watson,
what I have them doing is I have them trading back to Philadelphia at 6.
Yep.
And then I have them drafting LSU wide receiver Jamar Chase.
Yeah, Jamar Chase. Yeah, I've got pretty much the same thing. I've put Kyle Pitts in there as well because
fair enough. If he's still there, I'd grab him.
Yeah, if he's still there, Philadelphia's pick. Yeah, Devontae Adams as well. He should be there as well. But I think Jamar Chase is more. He converts more to the NFL with his game. So there's the players there. There's the players there that they can definitely pick if they trade back, and they won't have to trade back far.
Plus, they have almost $40 million in cap room.
Yeah, they're in. Imagine playing Madden and being in a position of the Miami Dolphins.
Okay, I thought they were killing themselves with all these moves, trading Tunsil, whatever, selling, trying to rebuild. They did a great job so far, and I'm very excited to see where they go.
It shows that if you land on the coach, it's the coach that you want to land on. If you're doing that rebuilding system, you need to land on the coach like Brian Flores.
He's one of the few from New England who have strayed off and actually did a really good job. But from what I hear from players, is he's a player's coach and he's a guy's guy type of dude. Like, everybody loves him, but he will quick to tell you you're fucking up, and he'll scream at you. But afterwards, he'll give you a hug and tell you how much he loves you. You know?
Yeah, of course. So imagine, so you get Tua, and then you get a weapon. You could also have Tua and pick Penei Sewell if you really wanted to improve the offensive line. If that's the kind of thing you wanted to do, I do think they go for a weapon if they're keeping Tua just because it's Tua. If they get Watson, then I think they won't be in the running to pick Sewell anyway. So saying that they don't take Watson, they could take Sewell, or they could take Jamar Chase. And then for their 18th pick, I've got them picking the linebacker out of Notre Dame, whose name I can't pronounce. It's Jeremiah Owusu Karamoah.
And I'm glad you said it, because that's exactly what I got. And I actually listened to videos this morning on how they kept pronouncing it. And I still was like, all right, Maddie, go. Because I don't. Yes. But
do you want to give it a go? Funny. I think you have to give it a go. I think it's only fair that you give it a go now.
It's Jeremiah, whatever Maddie said.
Yeah. All right. We'll go. That's what we're going for. Anyway, the guy is a playmaker at linebacker. And then that's what I think the league's kind of going. I think if you can get a guy who can rush the passer and is quick enough to kind of drop back and protect a little bit, we saw what the Bucs did against Travis Kelce in the Super Bowl. Then that's the kind of guy that you want, and I think he is that kind of guy. They don't have many holes like the Bills, so they can just pick the most talented guy that drops to them, and he will be one of them.
Yeah, that is actually one of those good problems. And I was also glad I looked at my notes. If they don't trade, I think you'd go after Will Fuller or Galladay, safety Justin Simmons, safety Anthony Harris, which I keep bringing up. I know that a lot of people want them to go after a running back. I say wait. But at worst, if you don't trade, maybe you can get Allen Robinson away from the Bears for like a second.
Yeah, like later on, obviously he's been, because he's been.
Well, because he's not happy.
So you trade him for the second.
Tagged. They want to try to make a push for one of these quarterbacks. So maybe you call up the Bears and go, "Hey, I'll give you our second. It's a really high second. Give us Fuller." You know what I mean? Give us.
Well, you could. If you're going for Robson, then I suppose you don't need to take Chase. So then you could trade back to the Bears.
Right. That's why I said they have a lot of options if they don't trade for Watson.
Or even they could. There'll be a quarterback falling to about. Where do the Bears pick? Where are the Bears?
The Bears are
at 20th.
Okay. Yep.
The Bears are at 20th. So I was just going to say they could pick it. They could probably trade their 18th because like Trey Lance, Kellen Mond might be falling that far. Maybe even Justin Fields on some reports might be even falling that kind of far. So you could say to the Bears, do you want to pick here before Washington pick?
I do not believe all 6 of those quarterbacks are going in the first round. I do not believe it.
Definitely.
I think at least 2 or 3 of them are falling to the second round. We always overvalue quarterbacks. And then right before the draft, every analyst overvalues quarterbacks, and then teams come in and go, no.
Yeah, so the Bears could say there is one team that if one of those quarterback falls will be taking them, and that is the Washington football team, who are in 19th. So the Bears could do a jump in a place, and that could cost maybe Allen Robinson. If that's what they wanted to do.
If I had to pick a team to be in the offseason, though, the Dolphins are who I want to be, because it's going to be the most fun.
Definitely.
Or they're in a position to do
this division.
Yeah, but they're in a position which no team ever is, to do whatever you want in the draft or free agency, whatever.
Yeah, and it's almost like it has no consequences because you know your team is good. So you know your team is good already. So if you mess up, it doesn't really matter. Just a quick note on kind of free agency. Would you sign back Ryan Fitzmagic if you're Miami?
If we get to Sean Watson, yes. If we keep Tua, no. But that's just because of the way they handled it last year. If Tua's my guy, I don't want him looking over his shoulder at Ryan Fitzpatrick, and they benched him for Fitzpatrick a couple times. So for Tua's growth, no. But if you got, you know what, you get what I'm saying? Not that it's anything.
I get what you're saying.
Patrick.
I think if you think that, you just wouldn't keep Fitzpatrick because he's going to be a bit I think he's probably going to be one of the most expensive backups on the market. So, and Jacoby Brissett becomes a free agent as well. So you could kind of go for Brissett behind Deshaun Watson if you really wanted to. I would keep him if it's Tua, just because of how it worked out. And you're kind of saying Tua, like, you can't back Tua yet. You can't back him. He hasn't given you a reason to show that. And if you say that to him, then maybe that's where he picks up his game. I was watching some old film on Tua at Alabama, and I mean, there is the whole thing of him being like he is throwing to wide open receivers, but he is nailing those throws like every single time. It
scares me though, because all the Alabama players love Tua, but they like Mac Jones better. And I watch Mac Jones, and Chris Sims is the only one I know who is that high on Mac Jones. But my whole thing is, I don't want to ruin Tua's psyche. And that's why I cannot have Fitzpatrick sitting over his shoulder.
Yeah.
And the only reason I say with Watson, you keep Fitzpatrick, because I believe with that team, you can win that division if you have Watson. Not that you will, but you can. And if he goes down, you want a guy.
If he goes down, you don't ruin your chances. Yeah. And they have enough cap space that it doesn't really matter what you pay your backup quarterback, I suppose.
I don't think Fitzpatrick wants to be a backup. I would think he wants the shot to start, but if he's gonna play, he's gonna have to accept being a backup.
Yeah, there's too many quarterbacks kind of knocking about for him to get a starting job anyway, apart from maybe the Washington football team if they don't make a start. I feel like I say their name far too much, but they're the team that I think everybody's kind of sleeping on in the free agency quarterback market.
Well, Maddie, just to give everybody a preview, where do you want to head next with the NFC or the AFC?
AFC South. Straight into the AFC South. Yeah.
There'll be a lot to talk about there. I'm pretty sure we covered most everything, unless there's something else you need to say on the NFC East or AFC.
The NFC East I've got a lot to say on, but the AFC East, no, I think we've covered it. I think that's a very in-depth chat about the AFC East there.
Well, guys, everybody, thanks for checking us out. You can follow the Yankee and the Brit on Twitter. And if you do, I guarantee you, if you're a UFC fan, I got a lot of stuff for you while I'm tweeting during the UFCs. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe, hit that notification button on Facebook, follow. Other platforms will be coming: Apple, Google Podcast, Spotify. Check us out on there if you don't want to look at us. Also, tell a friend to tell a friend. One world, one love. Deuces.
Cheerio.